This question kind of circles back to the previous question, which is which one to choose and why.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to this special episode of the podcast. Today we have a guest who has helped countless students achieve their dreams of studying abroad. Today we have Mr. Alaء غفار. Hello, sir.
Hello.
Well, we are glad to have you here today in our podcast.
Thank you. I'm really glad that you have me, and I appreciate giving me this opportunity.
Well, we're glad for having you here. Mr. Alaء غفار is a leading expert in IELTS preparation and international scholarships. So if you're planning to study abroad, improve your IELTS score, or secure a scholarship, this episode is for you. So, Professor Alaء, let's start with your journey. How did you get into this field?
Do you mean the TOEFL and IELTS? Or
Yeah.
English in general?
Like international exams in general.
Okay, so first of all, thank you for having me on this amazing podcast. I started my journey back in 2011. I had just graduated from the Department of English at Wokkief University. And I was admitted to be an employee and instructor at the TOEFL Center at Wokkief University. And so from that point on, I tried to improve myself, improve my understanding of the efficiency tests. This is what they're called, English efficiency tests. That's TOEFL, IELTS, Pearson's, and et cetera. And from that point on, I really tried to hone my skills in how to train students to achieve the best possible mark in any part of the test, because some students sometimes need to elevate their skills in certain parts, not all of the tests. So that's one thing. Another thing is that I always try to make the best out of my career. So I tried my best to be someone who inspires passion as I teach, because I believe that if a student has passion in what they're pursuing, the results are much easier to achieve, as opposed to students thinking that they have to do this instead of seeking to achieve it on their own.
By the way, you remind me of a poet. He is called John Milton.
Mm-hmm.
He was a political man, but he decided to study poetry, and then since he loved poetry, he became one of the best poets through history.
Cool.
That was quite inspiring story, by the way.
Thank you.
Sir, you mentioned something about TOEFL. So what is the difference between TOEFL and IELTS? Could you please elaborate a little bit?
Yeah, people generally don't fully understand the difference. Let's start with the similarities. So TOEFL is an English proficiency test, and so is the IELTS. Both of them try to measure your level of English based on a certain scale of grades. Both of them test your listening, reading, writing, and speaking skills. But the difference is in how they test that. The main difference is that the TOEFL test has let's say a rather narrow type of questions. Most of the questions are a multiple choice question. So you have a question and you have 4 options to choose from, whereas IELTS has a wider range of questions. And then you will have to understand each type of question so that you would understand how to answer and not to spend a lot of time trying to figure out what the question is about. So that's the difference in preparation. And the other difference is that I always like to mention to my students is that in the TOEFL test, you don't, in the speaking part of the TOEFL test. You don't speak to a person, which is, according to me, like this is how I look at things. I think it's a bit more difficult to speak to a machine because it's very generic,
Emotionless.
Exactly, it's emotionless. You don't feel that you're interacting with someone, whereas with the IELTS test, you're actually talking to someone, which makes it easier for you to talk. And that someone would also understand that sometimes you can have some difficulty talking, difficulty reaching your points. Sometimes you stutter a little bit. You don't know where you're going with what you're saying, but you don't have a time limit to say. Not exactly, but you have some time to talk about what you have to talk about. Whereas in the TOEFL test, you're giving a very specific amount of time in which you have to deliver your message effectively and meaningfully. And that puts a lot of pressure on the students. And the third part is, I think it has been solved after COVID. IELTS used to, the writing part of IELTS used to be handwritten, which actually gave a lot of students like a different type of obstacle that they have to overcome, which is their handwriting. The handwriting is not very good. And another problem with that is sometimes you have ideas or you have to make some modifications in the middle of your text that you've just written. And you just cannot do that if you're writing with your hand. You cannot do that. But if you're typing on a computer, you can easily like move the cursor into the text wherever you want to make this modification and do it. So that's, I think, in the TOEFL, it's easier to do the writing. Not that the writing is easier, but it's easier to do than it is with the IELTS. But recent IELTS tests have solved that, and you can do that on a computer. So it's
Thank God.
It's much easier. Yeah, of course.
Well, to me, like if it was to me, I think I'll get 0 because my handwriting is really bad.
Yeah, I was fortunate because my handwriting is really good, and I used to teach students how to strategize and arrange their ideas so that they don't bump into problems like that, like having like a new idea that they have to put into the text.
Yeah, maybe you should teach me a thing or two.
Yeah, it's not a very difficult thing. I can teach you right now.
Yeah, inshallah after the podcast.
Inshallah after the podcast. Yes, after the podcast.
Anyway, now, sir, we know that most of the people who takes the TOEFL and the IELTS exam, they take it for, let's say, studying abroad purposes.
Yeah.
Because if you want to study abroad, one of the like simplest requirements is to have whether the TOEFL or the IELTS exam.
Yes.
So which one is better to take?
So this question kind of circles back to the previous question, which is which one to choose and why.
Yeah.
And it's not really rocket science. Each one has let's say slightly different approach on how to test the students' English language skills. And there are also other tests than the TOEFL and the IELTS, but these two are the most, let's say, the most famous. And if you have to choose between those two, I'd say that you will have to take a mock test and try to see if you would feel better with one of them, and that's the one that you have to go to and do. But there are other stuff that you have to have in mind. One is like how many test centers are close to you. What are the available dates for each of those tests? You have to check with the TOEFL, you have to check with the IELTS, and then decide which one to pursue. And then you'll have to check with the kind of resources that you have to get so that you would prepare for the test. And that also puts that kind of gives you let's say that's the sort of thing that you have to think about before deciding which one to choose. the IELTS or the TOEFL? How many, what are the types of resources that you have? What are the test centers that are available? What are the test dates that are available? When are you supposed to deliver your test score? And sometimes, this is an important one, sometimes when you apply to the US, it's preferable that you take the TOEFL test. They would even tell you that you have to get a lower mark if you take the TOEFL, but a higher mark if you take the IELTS, so that they would promote, or they would try to persuade you into taking the TOEFL, which is an American test. Whereas the IELTS, they do the same in Britain too. They try to give you like a slightly lower score with the IELTS, so that they would like try to push you towards taking the IELTS test rather than taking the TOEFL test.
So, like, if you wanted to take the IELTS exam, should you like take it with the British accent? Like, do they prefer the British accent in the IELTS exam?
No, they actually try to give you a variety of accents. They don't go into like the difficult accents that you listen to on Instagram or on YouTube. Those kind of difficult that sometimes even people who speak English, people who are native speakers, they don't understand very well. They don't go there.
Like the accent of Liverpool.
Not necessarily, but yeah. So there are some difficult accents, and they will not give you those type of accents. They will give you standard accents, standard British, standard Australian, and standard American. These are the main three, so to say, because Canadian is very similar to the American. Yeah, very, very small differences between the two. But still, yeah, so these are the main three, and these are the main three that you have to try to get right before going into the IELTS test.
Nice. Thank you. We mentioned studying abroad previously. So many students dream of studying abroad, but the reality can be different. So what are some unexpected challenges they might face?
So the unexpected challenge is, I think, two, and they are one, writing essays, and two is a possible interview with the admission committee of the university. And the first one, which is writing an essay, this is difficult for Iraqi students in particular because we are not encouraged to write down our own ideas. That's one of the main things that we don't do generally, and it really affects how we think, because if you write a lot, you develop a very specific and unique method of thinking if you write a lot. But if you don't, you kind of don't. Sometimes you don't understand the things in the right way because you're not used to using your own ideas. So I think writing your own essays is the biggest challenge that students face. And the other one is an interview, because our educational system is very different. And I'm talking about the higher education, which is universities' educational system. It's very different from other parts of the world. So people don't understand how things go outside of Iraq. And that poses a big challenge as they apply, because they don't understand how to like choose the subjects that they want to study, how to arrange their time, and the other thing is that the other problem or the other obstacle that they would face is when they go abroad and they actually start studying, they will definitely face some difficulties because of the difference between educational systems.
Well, now you mentioned two obstacles, which is one, writing the essay, and the meeting. So how can students overcome these obstacles?
Okay, so it takes time, and writing is the one that takes, obviously, it takes much more time than trying to nail an interview. Because if you want to get through an interview, you simply go online, you try to look up a lot of let's say I'm applying for a scholarship, or I'm applying for a certain university, and I have a meeting on a certain day, or I have a meeting with the admission committee. What sort of questions do I need to expect? And if you do that with ChatGPT, that's probably going to be very easy to prepare for. So the AI, or maybe even you try with Google or with Gemini, the AI would give you a lot of prompt questions that you might face in your interview, and then the AI would also suggest a few answers. The thing is, you don't have to memorize those answers. You have to understand what are those answers about, and then prepare your answers based on your own experiences and your own ideas, so that you would sound more genuine and sound more real to the admission committee. And on the other hand, the writing part is the one that I told you is the one that's more difficult. You have to read a lot of similar articles. Let's say you want to write a statement of purpose. So you have to read a lot of statements of purpose on many different subjects. People who want to apply for a medical field, people who want to apply for an engineering program. You have to read a lot of types of statements of purpose, and then you will have to write your own ideas and try to come up with your own statement of purpose. And that takes about, I don't know, 4 to 6 months, based on how well your English is. And I remember last time when I applied for the Fulbright program, it took me about 8 months to do 2 essays. But I'm a perfectionist. I like to take my time and doing things flawlessly. But I think that's one of the good things about how I do things.
Well, about the essay, obviously, when we write an essay, and like when they ask us to write an essay, they want to know something about us. So what they are exactly looking for?
So there are different essays. Depends on what essay are you trying to write about. Like this is your goal.
Sorry, there is more than one essay?
Yeah.
Okay.
So there are types of essays. The most general one is the statement of purpose. And the statement of purpose has its like core ideas in its name. Purpose. What's your purpose? Why do you want to study this? What's your goal during? What's your goal after getting the degree? So these are the big questions that you have to answer as you write your essay. Because writing your essay means that you are literally trying to convince the people who are reading your essay to admit you into the program that you're applying for. So depends on the essay. This is one of the essays, the statement of purpose, and the other one is called study objective. There are many. There's a networking for example, for the Chevening program. There are 4 types of essays: the networking one, the leadership one. So you simply go online, try to look up different, not different, but similar essays. You read them, you understand how they go about listing information and explaining the writer's ideas. And then you write down your ideas and you try to arrange them in the same pattern that you've read.
Nice. That's really nice. You know, nowadays, a lot of us rely on AI, artificial intelligence,
that's bad.
a lot.
That's
It's really bad.
Yeah.
So is it okay if students try to rely on ChatGPT or other AI source?
Yeah, I'm a very, let's say, open-minded person. It's very okay to rely on AI to give you ideas, to rely on AI to maybe give you samples of what you're supposed to write about. But if you completely rely on AI to write, to help you write your own ideas, believe me, it's going to be much more difficult to get rid of AI in the future. So if you're into something, if you're going to study something, or if you're going to choose a career that includes a lot of writing, I think that it's in your interest to ask AI for help, not to ask AI
To do it for you.
to do it for you, basically. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
Well, AI, it's a double-edged sword.
Yes, exactly.
Well, speaking of challenges, adjusting to a new culture is one of the biggest struggles for international students. So, what is your advice for dealing with culture shock?
Okay, so I don't think I had a culture shock going into the US. I don't really know. I didn't feel that I had some sort of a culture shock because I had a good level of English. I could understand how people, what people talked about, how people talked about things. I used to watch a lot of TV. I don't rely on movies and TV series in my understanding of the American culture. I rely on programs like The Daily Show, or like political programs that discuss social life, stand-up comedy shows, which really discuss what's going on in the American culture. Maybe I had a few things that I didn't expect to see, but generally speaking, it wasn't much of a shock. The only thing that was, I think that was shocking is that I knew how things were, but I was shocked when I was told that, and it's when the chair of the departments, رئيسة القسم, when she told me that I had to call her by her name and not to call her professor. She was my teacher too. And I was like, I cannot do that. I just can't do that. She was like, no, we're basically colleagues. She's telling me we're colleagues. No, we're not. You're my teacher. In my culture, I cannot do that.
As Iraqis, we cannot do this.
It's a very strict line.
Yeah.
I know this might seem, I mean, if you're in the US and you talk to your professor and like your master's students, or maybe your PhD student, and you're teaching, and one of your teachers is also teaching, it's very okay to call them by their first name, because for them it's their colleagues, and they have to be closer to each other, or they feel that it's better to be closer to each other and call everyone by their first name, and that's okay. But to me, still, even if I am a colleague, you've taught me that's a line I cannot cross. I cannot call you by your name. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And
our culture is based on respect.
Yeah, we respect our elders. I told them in my thesis defense, I told them that sometimes I meet someone that I don't know, and it is someone who's like on the street, an older person, an older man, and I would call that man my uncle. And if it was a woman, I would call her my aunt, or sometimes mother.
Yeah,
this is how our culture do things. And I told you, like, even though I know that this is how things go, I still was shocked when she told me, you can call me by my first name. I was like, no, please, no. I cannot.
Hell no.
Yeah, I can't.
Well, let's shift back to the IELTS.
Okay.
We know that if you want to get or to take the test, the highest grade or the maximum grade that you can get, it's 9.
Yes.
So what is the minimum grade you should get to get accepted at the, let's say, international colleges or universities abroad?
Yeah, well, it's very different, but the range is 6.5. Okay. So one of, I think most of the universities that I've seen accept 6 to 6.5 for their master's programs. And then for their PhD programs, some of the universities would take that a little bit higher to 7. So a band 7 of the IELTS test will be required. But there's a catch, which is some universities would tell you that you will have to get a 6.5 score, but then you will have to score no less than 6 on the writing parts. So they give you a general band that you have to get,
but there's a catch.
And then one of the skills has to be at a certain point.
Yeah.
For example, writing at 6, or maybe reading at 6.5. You cannot score less than 6.5 in the reading. So, for example, if you score a band 6.5 in the IELTS test, and your writing is 5.5, you will not get accepted into that university.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, that's pretty unfortunate.
Yeah, that's the catch with some of the universities. Not all of them. And I told you this is very different. Most of the American universities, especially with if you apply to a scientific program, they would ask you to take another type of test, which is the GRE test. It's like their evil brother, their evil big brother, the evil big brother of the IELTS and the TOEFL test.
So it's worse than the IELTS and the TOEFL?
It's I would say it's also very difficult, and it has a mathematics part.
What?
So you have to study math and English to pass that test.
You know, it's not rocket science.
It is rocket science, apparently.
Well, that's really difficult.
It is difficult, but for me, I didn't have to take it because
thank God,
because we're in the humanities and you don't have to take the GRE. It's
thank God.
Yeah, it's not required. So thank God.
Yeah, thank God. Well, as for the TOEFL and for the IELTS, we spoke previously about them. Which one is more difficult?
Okay, so not one of them is more difficult.
Okay.
Like if you choose any of them, you have to prepare for both.
Yeah.
You have to study hard. You have to give a lot of your time. You have to practice. This is the most important part. You have to practice the test so that you would get a higher score. If you don't practice, you will not know what problems you have. And if you don't know what problems you have, you will not be able to solve those problems so that you would advance your score, basically.
Indeed. Well, let's shift back to the studying abroad.
Okay.
One of the biggest concerns that students have is funding.
Yeah.
So what is the first step they should take when searching for scholarships?
Okay, scholarships are very tricky because, again, in Iraq, we understand scholarships differently. If you apply for scholarships in the US, for example, you would find that some scholarships are not, the word scholarship is not that you got like a fully funded study period for some master's program, for example. A scholarship means that there's a sum of money, an amount of money that you will take during this year, or maybe over the period of 3 to 4 years, depends on what the scholarship is about, and that's it. So the way we understand scholarships is that if you apply to a scholarship and you get it, you get to go and study and do all of your studying, maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe 3 years, and then you go back and you will not pay anything. This is how we understand scholarships.
Yeah.
Because we don't have like partial fundings. We have like fully funded scholarships. There's no partial funding whatsoever. Yeah.
So the fully funded one is better.
The fully funded ones are very scarce. And in Iraq, we have 2 of the big ones. One is the Fulbright, which is the one I got in 2019. And another one is called Chevening. I try to help a lot of students on getting both of those. And those are mainly for master's degrees. Chevening is the one that sends you to Britain
Okay.
and or the UK, and the Fulbright is the one that sends you to the US. Yeah.
Well, since you've got the Fulbright scholarship, was it difficult to get the scholarship?
Yes, I applied twice. The first time I applied was in 2015. It was difficult to get. I spent a lot of time. Like I told you, I spent 8 months writing my essays.
And you got rejected?
And no, I didn't. I actually I went all the way through to the final stage of, let's say, of the process. And then in that stage, I didn't have enough time to do the work that I was supposed to do, and then I didn't advance to the next stage.
So it was a matter of time.
Yeah, basically, I had a lot of work on my hand, and I came short. I couldn't do.
So you
all
could
the
have
work.
got it from the first time if you had like enough time.
Maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe. But the second time, I made sure that I had enough time. I made sure that I had done all of my research. So it was basically like walking through the process. I didn't have any problems. I didn't have any time issues. I delayed my application 2 years. I didn't apply the year after, and I skipped the year after as well. And then I applied in 2018. The process is long. It's more than 1 year. I applied in 2018, and I got it in 2019, and I basically traveled in 2019.
Well,
yeah.
So if you want, let's say if you applied and you got rejected, and if you wanted to apply again, you should wait a whole year?
No, the process itself is more than 1 year.
Oh.
So if you get rejected, let's say in June, I mean, if you apply, the Fulbright is open now. If you apply now, and you go all the way through to the final stage. The final stage will be next February or next March. So next March, you will know that you got rejected. You can apply again.
Okay. Oh, that's.
But you can apply next March.
Oh. So there is a period of 2 years between applying.
No. You apply the same day you get rejected. You can apply.
If you wanted to know, like if you got rejected again or not, you need to wait 2 years.
No.
Oh.
So you apply. I applied in 2015.
All right.
I got rejected in April 2016. Okay. I was able to apply again in 2016.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah, but I didn't do it. I chose not to do it.
Okay, got it.
So that I would have like enough time to prepare for everything.
I see.
So I skipped 2016, I skipped 2017, and then I applied in 2018 and got it.
Well,
yeah,
that's very good. Good for you.
Thank you.
One of the biggest concerns that students have is like there is a common belief about these scholarships that the scholarships is only for the straight A students.
No.
Is that right?
No.
So it's just a myth.
No, it's because of the, like, I can go back to one of my answers. It's because of the educational system. Our educational system does not see you as a person. The educational system sees you as a bunch of grades. But when you apply to a scholarship, when you apply for to any university abroad, they would look at your grades, definitely.
Yeah.
They would look at your essays.
Yeah.
They would look at your test scores, IELTS test, TOEFL test, GRE test. They would look at those too. Those can actually positively affect your application.
All right.
And then you might have like less GPA, less grades than some other students, but your essays and your tests might elevate you to the position where you will be admitted and not that student.
Well, so the grades are not that important as
they are important, but they're not the main thing.
Okay.
Maybe there's like 30 to 40%
well, for the grades.
For the grades, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see. Well, here comes another question.
Okay.
Many students fail to get these scholarships due to avoidable mistakes. So, what are the most common errors, applications, or the people who apply to get these scholarships usually make?
Okay, so I understood the question, and the answer is not very. It's not a clear-cut answer.
It's complicated.
It's complicated,
Okay.
exactly. So if you want to apply to a scholarship, you have to do a really big amount of research. You have to read a lot of essays. You have to understand deeply, understand how essays are written, and fabricate and you write your essays in the best way possible. And even though you can do all that, you might not get the scholarship, because those who are providing the scholarships need like different types of, let's say, majors to apply in this year. So for example, when I applied, if the Fulbright, the Ahmed East is the institution that oversees the Fulbright in Iraq.
Yeah.
So if the Fulbright wanted or didn't want any English teachers to get admitted in 2018, it doesn't matter how much work I put into my application, I will not be admitted, right?
Oh.
But this is information that's not disclosed. I will not know. And nobody will ever tell me this kind of information. But does that mean that you shouldn't apply? Of course not. Go shoot your shot and hope for the best.
Well, is it better to like take the shot and apply, or is it better to study here in Iraq, or let's say one of the neighboring countries?
So my advice is not to settle for less. I mean, I'm talking to fresh graduates now. Fresh graduates, those who just graduated, they may be 22, 23 years old. You have your whole life ahead of you. Don't rush into applying for a paid master's degree in a close nearby country just because you want a master's degree. Okay, if you want a master's degree, you have to, or you, I think it's better competitively, because there are lots of people who hold a master's degree. But how can you distinguish yourself from those people? You get it from a very good place.
Yeah.
You get it from a place with a very good reputation.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, that's quite interesting.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about the life and career after studying abroad. So, like after studying abroad and like you finished and you got your master's degree, is it better to stay abroad or to return back to your country or to do both? Which one is better?
So in my case, for me, I thought it was better if I come back. Staying in the US was not a good call if I wanted to do it. There are a lot of factors that took place, a lot of things that happened during the time when I was in the US, and all of those led me to deciding not to stay. I mean, not to stay. I wasn't going to stay anyway. I had to come back to Iraq and then apply for another visa to go to the US. But generally speaking, I didn't want to go to the US again. I didn't want to live there.
Yeah.
With a master's degree, because I thought that my life in Iraq and my life, if I didn't want Iraq, I would apply to teach in some of the neighboring countries.
Yeah.
I didn't want to study there. And with all due respect to all of my American friends, it didn't suit me as a person.
Yeah.
The life in the US was not suitable for me as a person. As a Alaء,
Yeah.
it's not suitable.
After all, nothing feels like home.
It's not only that, like it's a lot of things, but I couldn't stay. I couldn't live there.
I see. Well, good for you, actually.
Thank you.
Where were we? About the
Living in
Okay, yeah, good. Living abroad. So, for let's say countries who gave away scholarships,
yeah.
Except the USA and the UK, which country gives scholarships?
You mean other than the UK? So what I know is that there are two others. One is called the DAAD, DAD scholarship.
Okay.
It's a double A, but it doesn't sound good.
Okay, no, it doesn't.
Anyways, yeah, it's called DAAD. Let's call it that way.
Okay.
It's the DAAD scholarship, and it's basically offered by the German government.
Okay.
And there's another one that's called the MEXAT. I think this is how it spells out. And it's provided, or it's offered by the Japanese
Really?
Government. But I don't know if those are still in place these days, because a lot has changed since COVID.
Yeah.
So I don't know if those two are still in place. I know that the Chevening and the Fulbright are still running, but other than those two, I'm not sure.
Well, there is a lot of scholarships.
Of course, yeah, there's a lot, but I'm like those who want to study abroad, they just have to learn how to search, and learn how to dig deep into different websites, and they will find a lot. Like, for example, if you don't want to apply to any of those, you can search what's called a teaching assistantship into any website of any American university website, and you'll find that like there are a lot of American universities that offer you a fully funded scholarship to study, to do a master's degree, but then you'll have to teach at the university.
Okay, I see.
And you will also get a stipend.
So
you'll get an allowance. So you get يعني مصرف شهري.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So you get a monthly allowance.
So you get paid, yeah.
Yeah, you get paid.
Okay, nice.
You get paid, and your study is for free.
Oh.
And this is not something that's presented to Iraq. This is open to anyone from any part of the world. You can simply apply.
I think it's better than the Fulbright scholarship.
No, it's not.
In a way.
No, it's not.
Oh, really?
Because with the Fulbright scholarship, you don't have to teach.
Oh.
So you have more time to yourself. You have more time to like explore the U.S.
Travel. And do you get paid?
Yeah, of course.
Oh,
of course.
All right.
I went to, like, even though it was COVID when I was there.
Yeah.
I went to 9
states.
9 states.
Really?
16 different cities.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
From West Coast to East Coast.
How was it?
Yeah, I even went to Texas.
Yeah. How was it?
It was amazing.
Really?
Amazing. I really hope it wasn't COVID, because we didn't get to go through a graduation ceremony, basically.
Oh,
we didn't have that.
Yeah.
And it's very sad, but
unfortunate.
Such is life.
Yeah, it is. It is. So between the available scholarships, based on your opinion, which one do you think
Fulbright.
It's okay.
Yeah, straight through.
Please tell me why.
Because it's the one that allows you to stay in the US for a longer time, to understand how things go. It doesn't rush you into your studies. You take things slowly. You really understand the system, the educational system, and you get a grasp of, like a good grasp of what you are studying, actually.
All right.
But if you like put all of those 2 years into 1 year, you'll basically have to study every single minute of every single day, and you will not have enough time to go explore, actually feel the social life.
I see.
I went and I got to know some of the native tribes of the U.S. And I got to know some. I went to a lot of places, and it was very nice. It was an eye-opening experience.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow, quite interesting. Yeah. Hopefully we will experience this in future.
Inshallah. Definitely help you.
Inshallah. Well, Mr. Alaa, this has been an incredible conversation filled with valuable insights. Before we wrap up, can you share your top 3 golden tips for students who want to study abroad?
So for those who want to study abroad, I would say that the first and foremost thing is that you have to have a really good English, but it's like it doesn't have, like, people generally focus on having an accent. If I can have an accent, no, you don't. Let's speak Iraqi in English now.
Yeah, okay.
You don't have to have an accent. You
Really?
can speak like this and speak fluently. Fluently. The most important thing is to speak fluently. It is not to speak with an accent. An
Okay.
accent is an optional thing. It's something that you develop after being able to speak fluently. You start developing an accent because you feel more comfortable with speaking the language. So an accent is not a goal. It's a byproduct of you practicing the language every single day.
All right.
So that's number one.
Okay.
And part of this number one, so that I would have like a completely good idea, which is, language is not listening and speaking. It's also reading. If you want to stay abroad, you will have to learn how to read things. You will have to learn how to look for information online and in books. You'll have to learn how to actually open a book and read and look for certain pieces of information inside books, because there's no AI that can help you do that.
Wow.
Or maybe there is in the future. I don't know. I don't know. Sky's the limit for AI. Yeah, and with the writing too, you have to be like, you have to get the full package of English language. You don't basically develop or improve your speaking skills and you forget about your writing skills.
indeed.
That's not good.
Well, for the reading part, do you recommend reading like a lot of short novels or
no. Read like whatever program that you are going to apply to. Read the scientific articles about this kind of like major or study.
By the way, do you recommend newspapers?
Not really, because it's very general. So you can do that. The way I did it is by watching talk shows.
Okay. Like TED Talk and like stuff like that, or?
Yeah, TED Talk is one of them. Yes.
All right.
It was one of the best, actually.
Yeah, it is the best.
No, my best is Crash Course.
Well, Crash Course is one of the best as well.
Definitely my best. Shout out to John Green.
Indeed.
So the second tip.
All right.
The second tip is know your major. What I mean by that is some people who I would talk about people who graduated from the English language departments.
All right.
They've graduated from the English language department and they don't know if they want to study linguistics or they want to study like literary theory or literary criticism, or they want to study translation, or they want to study methodology, or they want to study any of those things.
Yeah.
And this is a big problem because they don't know like what's best for them. And in the same way, it's very difficult to pursue a master's degree.
Indeed.
If you're not sure what fields do you want to go into, it means that you don't know a lot about any of those fields. You have to know a lot about what you are going to study. You have to actually study before going to do a master's degree.
Oh.
You have to know a lot of things. Yeah. For the third part, I think if you want to go to study abroad, make sure that you experience, you go and you go out and meet people and talk to people, and don't be shy about who you are. This is something that a lot of people lose when they study outside of Iraq.
Yeah.
They try to hide their identity. They try to hide who they are. They feel shy about being a Muslim. They feel shy about being an Iraqi. They feel shy about sometimes about having a brown skin.
Yeah, unfortunately, some people lose their identity when they go abroad.
Exactly. They try to erase their own identity because they feel that if they express their identity, they would not be accepted. People would tell them, "Oh, you're a Muslim. Oh, you're Iraqi. Oh, no, it's okay." People might feel a little bit afraid of you, but then curiosity is much more I'd say it's much more recurrent. It happens more. When I told people that I'm from Iraq, they were like, "Oh my God, really?
Okay.
Really? How are things go? Is anything that we see on the news correct?" I would say, of course, sometimes bad things happen anywhere in the world, but it doesn't mean that life's just stopped and we're just sitting down afraid in our houses.
Yeah.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
So it's better to explain that to people, to be there, to be out there. If you try to hide yourself, the only thing that's going to be negatively affected is you.
Indeed. So instead of being, let's say, instead of trying to hide our identity, let's be proud of it.
Exactly.
Well, thank you. And since you're an expert in this field, the IELTS and getting a scholarship, for those who want to follow your work and learn more from you, where can they find you?
Okay, so that's the most difficult part. I don't post a lot about those things.
All right.
I try to make free workshops. I try to conduct seminars and talk to people in many different places so that they would understand how to do this.
All right.
How to improve their English, maybe how to apply for scholarship.
All right.
And I try to do that as often as I can, but it's not something that you can find online, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And hopefully with you guys, we can do, we can make that happen.
Inshallah. We all do know that IELTS exams are difficult. And to get a high course or a high score, in the IELTS, we should get at least a basic, let's say, learning. Like we should learn the strategies, and we should improve our English a little bit.
Of course.
So institutions like Tmkeen or other institutions, how can these kind of institutions help students to get a better score at the IELTS exam or the TOEFL?
Yeah, so generally English proficiency tests, the best way to approach them is I always try to ask my students, like, what's the score that you want to get? What's the time? What's the time that you've got? How much time do you get?
We should always aim for the higher score, because if you aim for 9, you'll get a 7.
This is one strategy, but this is not a strategy that you have to do. As a teacher, I do that. Like if you would come to me and tell me that you need to score a 6.5, I will not try to train you to get the 6.5. I will train you to get the 7.5 or maybe the 8.
Well,
I will judge you according to the 8, but you will get the 6.5, maybe 7. And this is something that happens a lot with my students. So the three main things are, what's the score that you want to get? What's the time period that you have? How much time do you have? And how many hours of study can you do a day?
Okay.
And this is very important. So as for Tmkeen, I think if someone wants to come to the institute and study and prepare for the IELTS or for the TOEFL, the first thing that we need to do is that make sure that their level of English is high enough to take the IELTS course. So the course itself needs students to be at a certain level, which is the B2 level. So if you're not a B2, you'll face a lot of problems, linguistic problems. You'll have problems with the language itself. It will be very difficult for you to understand. But if you're at a B2 level or a C1 level, the language will not be a big barrier.
Okay.
You will only the only way to go is up. You will not be feeling down.
All right.
You will learn stuff. You will update all of the linguistic patterns that you have. Will learn new vocabulary.
You can even depend on yourself on learning the language. Yeah.
Exactly, because you're at a good level to move forward.
Now you know stuff.
But if you're at the A1 or the A2 level, I will have a lot of problems trying to get you to understand the language.
Yeah.
let alone understanding the strategy. I don't want to teach you the language. I have to teach you the strategy. So study the language itself, elevate yourself to a good level. B1 maybe, B2 definitely okay.
Okay.
And then from that on, you can do an IELTS preparation course.
So in order to get well prepared for the exam, we should have a good language, at least to a B2 level. And we should get to know the strategies of the exam.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Sure.
It was an honor having you here today.
Thank you very much.
It was a very insightful conversation, really.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
And for our listeners, if you found this episode helpful, make sure to share it with anyone who dreams of studying abroad and to give the IELTS or the TOEFL, one of the international exams.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you. Have a good night.